We're still coming to you from Swakopmund. The 8th edition of the Broadcast and Digital Media Convention just concluded yesterday. And of course, we continue to sit down with some of the participants to get their views, their reflections of this important convention organized by the Southern Africa Broadcasters Association, empowered by the Namibia Broadcasting Corporation. My next guest is Davies Kabuswe, who is the president of Sun FM, that's based in Zambia. Davies, a very good morning to you. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing? How was the convention?
Awesome. I'm awesome. As you can see, I'm looking bright because I've had a good time in this city. It's a very nice city.
Very much indeed.
Yeah.
What are your overall reflections of the just concluded convention here?
It was very eye-opening, actually. We had a lot of interactions with a lot of media experts from across the globe.
Yes.
And obviously a lot of lessons to learn for our growth as a media industry. So it's been a very, very good convention, and I always look forward to participating in such conventions because that's where we pick up ideas on what to do, where we need to go, and what we need to improve on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what are those key takeaways and more immediate deliverables for you as Sun FM?
So obviously the convention was based mainly on AI, and I'm sure you've heard a lot of people talking about AI.
Yes.
And that is one of the biggest takeaway from this convention is how people are leveraging on AI, to improve the way they do things. Last night we were joking about how we should start using AI, to tell us how to drink. But now we should be leveraging on AI on how to improve the delivery of service of what we are doing as a media, as an industry. And so that is one of the biggest takeaways that obviously we got from this convention. And as a media house, Sun FM is one of the pioneers of visual radio, and that's one of the topics that I particularly participated in. But I also got got to learn about a lot of things that others are doing as well. And so there's a lot to improve. There's a lot that we have to do in order to become a media powerhouse in Zambia.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Just on the issue of artificial intelligence, what is the level or degree of incorporation into your day-to-day operations? Have you guys started making use of AI at Sun FM, or?
Yes, absolutely. We're using a lot of AI actually, especially in our newsroom, and this is one thing that I'm always complaining about because it's making our journalists very lazy, and so it's one of the things that they're using in the newsroom. But we are also trying to start using it on air because they are not all the time do we have presenters on air, because now AI is able to make us generate an artificial guy that is able to do everything else that a natural guy does.
Yeah.
And so once we do that, yes, your jobs are at risk. So once we do that, we should be able to run 24/7. It could be 03 a.m. in the morning, and there's some guy that is talking on air and even picking up calls, and people think there's a guy on air, and yet it's just the computer doing all the job. So that's how versatile the AI is proving to be, because we can use it in whatever, all manner of things.
Very much indeed.
Yeah.
Obviously, for us to thrive as an industry and, adopting these technologies, etc., we need to do it in an environment that allows to do so.
That's right.
How do you describe the media landscape in Zambia right now?
Yeah, so the media landscape in Zambia is quite diverse, obviously with a number of government-owned and private-owned radio and television stations, but obviously the environment is pretty much controlled, obviously because the media cannot be left alone without being controlled. Otherwise, you risk the security of the country.
Very much.
We've been left to do our job as media. We've undergone turbulent times as a media. And I want to, the president always, my president in Zambia always talks about how he survived an attack at my media house at Sun FM. And he always tells me that I want you to tell that story, you know, because he survived an attack some few years back in the previous regime, where we had to take him out of our media house through the roof. Wow. And he tells me now, every time he meets me, he says, I want you to always tell that story. Yes. And so it tells you that we've had,
how far we've come.
Yes, how far we've come. We've had turbulent times. You know, we've had times when the media has been, you know, stifled, and all that. But at the moment, it's a thriving industry.
Nice.
We're kind of enjoying our freedom. We're enjoying our freedom as a media, but obviously here and there are pockets of violence against our journalists, and you know, there's you know, obviously politics at play.
True. Yes.
The media can never be left alone. True. Government will always interfere here and there. Cadres, political cadres will come in here and there and, you know, disturb the flow of your programming. There are cadres that will even call you to stop a program because they're not happy with what you're doing. But if you don't, you know, stand your ground and go by your editorial policy, then you can never run that media house. So that's how come we are able to thrive as a media house, because we're able to stand our ground and go by our editorial policies.
Tell the Zambian story.
Tell the Zambian story from the Zambian perspective.
Absolutely, absolutely. Of course, Davis, there was an important emphasis as well on funding for broadcasters, public broadcasters, private, etc. What does the situation look like for you guys as far as funding is concerned, and how have you ventured into becoming self-sustainable?
So in Zambia, only the public broadcaster is funded. Private, we are, you know, we're funded through our own initiatives and through our commercial engagements and all that. And so what makes us sustainable is the innovations that we tend to undertake. And media sustainability, in fact, just last week, we had a Media Owners Association of Zambia conference, an AGM, and one of the topics was media sustainability, and I'm happy that I was one of the panelists on that topic. And what makes us sustainable is how we run our media houses, and I always insist on saying that if we run media as a business, you know, we first of all have to learn from how do other businesses thrive in their jurisdictions. If we start learning from how other businesses survive, regardless of what problems you are facing, you will survive as a media. For instance, in Zambia, currently we are, you know, grappling with the energy challenge. You know, a lot of short load shedding. Yeah, we have like 3 hours of power a day. And how do you expect the media to survive? How do you expect the media to be sustainable? You know, because they have to run on gensets and all that. But therein lies an opportunity. Okay, and media houses can come together and say, guys, can we do a solar plant, a solar farm, and you know, generate 5 megawatts of power, and then all of us can tap from that, and then we won't suffer.
It's a very interesting point. You know, media houses realizing that they are actually a business. I think for the longest time we've had this perception that, you know, media it's a public service, that, you know, it's not really a business, so to say.
That's right.
I'm really glad that you're emphasizing that.
So, you know, actually, as a media owner, one of the advantages I have personally is that I actually come from an investment background.
Nice.
Before venturing into media, in the media space, I was actually investments manager for a pension scheme.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so I've taken some of those
lessons.
yes, you know, to the media space,
Nice.
and I'm always encouraging my friends to say, stop living a hand-to-mouth kind of life,
Yes.
in a business, in your media space. You know, if you make $10, get $7 out of that $10 and invest it in something.
Exactly.
You diversify. You go into other business streams that will support your media house.
Yes.
For instance, if you put your $7 in treasury bills and government bonds, on a rainy day,
or stocks, or whatever the case
in stocks, yes, on a
yeah.
rainy day, it will sustain your media house.
Absolutely.
And that's the kind of business thinking that I'm always encouraging people, to think like. And this not only goes to the private sector, but even in the public sector as well. People need to. It's high time media houses started even employing investment experts.
True.
Have an investment department.
Yes.
That looks at, okay, how much money did we make last month?
Exactly.
What is the excess funds? Where can we place those funds?
Yes.
By the time you know it, those funds would have regenerated.
True.
And so that is what we are thinking of doing as a media house. One of the things that Sun FM has done, it has actually evolved. Sun FM has given birth to a number of media houses or media platforms.
Yeah.
And now we are a conglomerate. We are now called Sun Broadcasting Holdings Limited, because now Sun FM has given birth to Sun TV, it has given birth to Sun Sports TV, it has given birth to another radio station called Konkola Radio.
Wow.
It has given birth to another platform for marketing, which is Art Central. It's an advertising agency.
Yep.
And then it's also given birth to a record label, because we are managing, we are supporting a lot of artists. We are one of the supporters of the Kwacha Music, the pioneers and the host for the Kwacha Music Awards, which is like the Grammys of Zambia. So that is the direction that we've taken. Yeah, that's the direction that we've taken. So that is how media houses should be thinking. Yeah.
Davis, it's a pleasure talking to you. Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Enjoy the rest of your time in the country. Of course, you'll be going to a lovely excursion later on today as well.
Sure.
Do enjoy it, and please, all the best
and
to you.
I will make sure that I come back with my family so that we come and enjoy this beautiful country.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. There you have it, Davies Kabuswe, the president of Sun FM based in Zambia, just giving us his reflections on this concluded convention. Very exciting stuff happening there in Zambia. Very key advice saying that media houses, broadcasters should start looking at themselves and operating as businesses.